Hey everyone! Ready for a deep dive into how AI is changing education?
Sounds fascinating.
We're looking at this 2021 Educause review article today, all about student success analytics.
Okay.
It's basically where data and algorithms meet to try and figure out, well, how students can succeed.
Right, and how colleges can use data to support them.
Exactly. And it's a hot topic, for sure.
It really is. In fact, you know that 2021 Educause Horizon report?
Yeah.
They ranked AI as the #1 tech impacting higher ed.
Wow. #1. So, okay, imagine this.
Yeah.
You're a student, you're on an online math platform,
Okay.
working through problems, and as you go, AI is there, giving you personalized hints, explanations, even like pointing you to the right section in your digital textbook.
That's incredible.
I know, right? So cool. But this is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
The article brings up these questions about the data that's feeding these systems.
The data, right?
So let's say, hypothetically, some students are having trouble with, I don't know, fractions.
Okay.
The article pushes us to think deeper.
Deeper.
Yeah, like not just, oh, they got the wrong answers, but why are certain students struggling with this particular concept?
That makes sense. Looking for the underlying reasons.
Exactly. Are there patterns we're missing? Things that could help all students learn fractions better?
Instead of just focusing on the surface level.
Right. We need all the puzzle pieces, like you said earlier.
Exactly.
Okay, now, the article uses this analogy I love. They compare AI and machine learning to, get this, a hammer.
A hammer.
Yep. Useful tool, obviously,
Sure.
but in the wrong hands. Or used incorrectly.
It could do more harm than good.
Exactly. And they break down how this can happen in AI in 3 stages.
3 stages.
The first one is data set bias.
Data set bias, meaning?
So basically, the data used to train the AI model, it can actually reflect like existing biases from society.
I see.
So let me give you an example.
Sure.
Say the model is trained on data mostly from like affluent students. It might not be accurate for students from, say, lower income families.
Because their experiences might be different.
Exactly. Different challenges, different resources, all that.
So the model's predictions could be skewed from the beginning.
Right, based on what it's learned from. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
So then we move to stage 2, the machine factor.
The machine factor, I think.
This is where the human element comes in big time.
Interesting.
It's about the choices that data scientists, the developers, whoever's building these AI systems, the choices they make.
Like, what assumptions are they making about the data?
Exactly. Are they using the right algorithms, asking the right questions?
So it's not just about the data itself. It's how humans are using it.
You got it. And then stage 3, deployment and application.
So this is what happens when we actually put these AI models into practice.
Yeah, you know it. And that's where things can go sideways, too.
How so?
Well, think about it. What if we apply a model to a group of students that's totally different from the ones it was trained on?
That could be problematic.
Or even if it was accurate initially, things change. The world changes.
Right.
What's called model drift. It becomes less accurate over time.
Because the data it was trained on is outdated.
Precisely. And this is where the article really hits home.
What do you mean?
They're saying we can't just blindly trust AI, especially in education.
I see your point.
Critical thinking is still key. Why? And they suggest 3 things educators can do to be more, well, responsible.
3 things. Okay. What's the first one?
Understanding different types of bias.
Bias. Right. That seems super important.
It is. There's sample bias, where your data isn't representative.
Okay, like if you only surveyed students from one specific major.
Exactly. Or measurement bias, where the way you collect data is skewed.
Interesting. I can see how that could happen.
Right. So many ways bias can sneak in.
So understanding those different types is crucial.
Totally agree. The more we know, the better equipped we are to, catch it and fix it.
To fix it, yeah.
Okay, the second thing they suggest is improving what they call LMS acumen.
LMS.
Learning management systems, like Canvas, Blackboard, those platforms.
Got it. So using them better?
Making sure everyone understands how they impact the data.
Okay, why is that important?
Well, think about it. If a professor collects assignments by email,
yeah,
but the official due date is in the LMS,
that could mess things up.
it creates confusion. Inaccurate data about late submissions, all that.
Right, that makes sense.
Good course design, consistent data practices, that's what matters.
To make sure the data we're collecting is reliable.
Exactly. Because bad data in, bad data out, no matter how fancy the AI is.
That's a good point. Garbage in, garbage out.
Right. And finally, they emphasize this idea of data democratization.
Data democratization, that sounds pretty big.
It is basically giving everyone involved in education the knowledge and tools to understand and use data.
Everyone. You mean not just the tech people?
Students, faculty, administrators, even the cafeteria workers if they want.
Wow, that's a different way of thinking about it.
It's about making data accessible, understandable, not just locked away.
So everyone has a voice in how data is used.
Exactly. It's about empowering everyone to make informed decisions.
Decisions about their education, their institutions, the whole system.
Exactly.
This is really making me think differently about data.
That's what we like to hear.
It's about making sure we're using data to, lift everyone up, not just a select few.
And that's where data literacy comes in, right?
Absolutely. You can't just throw data at people and expect change.
Right. It's not enough to just have access. You have to understand it.
Interpret it. Use it to actually make decisions. That's data literacy.
So, equipping everyone, not just the data scientists.
Yep. Give students the skills to analyze the info that's, shaping their education.
It's powerful when you think about it.
It is. And give educators the tools to use data well in their classrooms.
Okay, so we've talked bias, LMS, and this data democratization.
Big, important concepts.
They are. And the article also mentions a bunch of resources.
So help people navigate all this, yeah.
There's the AI Fairness 360 Toolkit, the AI RFX Procurement Framework.
Those sound intense.
A little bit, but we've linked them all in the show notes for anyone who wants to explore.
Good idea.
Oh, one initiative stood out to me. The EdSafe AI Alliance.
EdSafe, okay.
What do they do?
They're all about establishing trust and transparency in how AI is used for education.
That's awesome. We need more of that.
I know, right? It feels like we're at this turning point.
Where we have this powerful tool, but we got to use it carefully.
Exactly. It keeps coming back to, what does student success even mean in this whole data-driven world?
The million-dollar question. And we have to be careful.
Careful.
That our definition doesn't get too narrow. It can't just be grades and test scores.
No, for sure. It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's personal growth, curiosity, of a genuine love of learning.
Nurturing the whole student, not just the measurable stuff.
Exactly. Otherwise, these AI systems, they could actually make inequality worse. Oh, how so?
Imagine a model trained on data that says, students from this background, they're less likely to go to college.
Uh-oh.
It might unintentionally steer them away from tough academic paths.
That's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, limiting opportunities instead of opening them up.
Right. That's why it's so crucial to have these broader conversations about what education should look like.
With AI in the mix.
Exactly. And those conversations need to include everyone.
Students, teachers, the whole shebang.
Developers, policymakers, the works. Diverse perspectives are key.
To make sure this tech is actually serving everyone.
Serving, not controlling.
I like that. And that brings us to human oversight.
Can't just let the algorithms run wild. Nope. We need human judgment, critical thinking to guide all this.
To guide the development, the implementation, the whole thing.
This isn't about replacing teachers with robots,
Definitely not.
It's about finding ways for humans and AI to work together.
To create a better, more equitable experience for every student.
This is making me seriously rethink things. That's good. That's what we want.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
I know, right? The future of education is totally intertwined with AI now.
It's exciting, but also kind of scary.
It is. We have to be cautious, thoughtful.
Think about the risks, but also embrace the potential.
Exactly. It's a tightrope walk, for sure.
A balancing act, finding that sweet spot.
But we have to find it. If we want education to be equitable and truly empowering.
For all learners, that's the goal.
Couldn't said it better myself.
It really does feel like education's entering this whole new world.
It is, and it's going to require educators to step up too, learn new things.
Almost like they need to become data scientists in a way.
Well, maybe not full-on data scientists.
Right.
But having that basic understanding of data, how it works in a classroom.
It's becoming essential, yeah.
Totally. Being able to look at the data, see the patterns.
And then actually use those insights to make their teaching better.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just tracking grades.
Oh, for sure.
Data can help create way more personalized, engaging learning.
Imagine every student has their own learning plan.
Tailored just for them, their needs, what they're into.
That's the promise of AI. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. But of course, then it makes you wonder.
Wonder what?
What's the teacher's role in all this? If AI is doing so much.
That's a big one.
Huge. I think the teacher is more important than ever, honestly.
Really? Why?
They're still the guide, right? The facilitator.
Making sure everyone's learning, keeping things on track.
Not just that, providing support, being a mentor, creating that positive classroom.
Where everyone feels included, safe to learn.
Exactly. You can't replace that with an algorithm.
So it's not about robots taking over teaching.
No way. It's about giving teachers the tools to use tech well.
To empower them, not replace them.
You got it.
Man, this has been such an eye-opening conversation.
I know, right? AI in education, it's a big deal.
Huge potential, but also a lot to be careful about.
Totally agree. We need to be mindful, have those tough conversations about ethics.
Work together, make sure AI is benefiting everyone.
And this is where our listeners come in.
Yes.
Whether you're a student, a teacher, a parent, whoever.
The voice matters in this.
It does. Check out those resources we linked. Stay informed.
Keep learning about AI and education and talk about it.
Have those conversations. Make sure the future of learning is one we all want.
Well said. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about, that's for sure.
It has. Thanks for joining us on this journey into AI and student success analytics.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.